the Hitchcockian subtlety of Jaws and the gleefully boyish excess of the indie films are but two of Spielberg's violent modes. He finds other ones in his historical dramas, especially the ones that deal with war. Empire of the Sun, a J.G. Ballard adaptation, uses violence in a very different way than Saving Private Ryan, because where Saving Private Ryan is about the chaos of being in war, the actual experience of combat, Empire of the Sun is about the disappearance of life as the film's young protagonist once knew it. It's a subtle distinction, and for all its scope this is a subtle movie, as evidenced by the power that Spielberg wrings from a single, relatively minor act of violence that doesn't even draw blood. In Empire of the Sun, James Graham, the film's young British protagonist, soon realises that the sanctity and the familiarity of his home have disappeared. His maid, whom he used to boss around, slaps him when he catches her stealing furniture.
Where's my mother and father? Do you know?
He can't process what this action means. He just stands there stunned, and lets the maid walk away. A similarly direct and gritty approach can be seen in the combat and atrocity scenes of Spielberg's violent historical dramas. The D-Day sequence in Saving Private Ryan is the apex of the dehumanizing nightmare that its characters endure. The entire point is to put you in the middle of it and show you everything, even things no person should ever see. Spielberg goes so far as to make the bullets whizzing through the air and water visible. That is more than can be said for the individual faces of the American soldiers, who, for the most part, are depicted as cannon fodder. Bodies hurled up on a German-held beach to die by the thousands. The selective shakiness of Spielberg's camera adds another layer of hyper-reality to the experience of watching this volatile scene.
What are you guys? 104th Medical Battalion, sir!
This is a far cry from the gun battles in the Indiana Jones pictures, which take place in roughly the same era and have similar firearms, some of them wielded by Nazi Germans. Even if you were to compare two of Spielberg's strictly fantasy-based films, Jurassic Park and Artificial Intelligence, you'd find that you're in seriously different territory just by looking at the way he depicts violence. By the time Spielberg made Jurassic Park, the MPAA had created the PG-13 rating as an intermediary step between PG and R. This rule was created thanks to films like Joe Dante's Gremlins, which Spielberg executive produced, and Spielberg's own Temple of Doom. Like these films and others shepherded by Steven Spielberg, Jurassic Park wraps fundamentally lurid material in family-friendly package. But the director's sci-fi fantasy films, like the Indiana Jones series for the most part, are very careful not to go too far too soon. They're a bit like Jaws in that respect. A comparison made official by the opening kill in Jurassic Park, which is staged in a manner very similar to the Bader's death that opens Jaws. Spielberg is so adept at balancing gore against human distress that, in his films, as in Hitchcock's, you often think you're seeing more than you actually are. For example, it's hard not to misremember that during the scene in which Wayne Knight's opportunistic programmer gets spat on by a dinosaur, nothing that grisly is explicitly shown. The whole movie, in fact, is more restrained than we may remember. The most horrendous violence in the film is not shown at all. The scene in which an unseen pack of raptors massacres a living cow happens off-screen, and is more unnerving because of it. When Sam Neill describes to a snot-nosed kid how raptors used to gut their prey and ate them alive, the full brunt of the horror is conveyed verbally, without any images to assist it.
Claw, like a razor, on the middle toe. He doesn't bother to bite your jugular like a lion, say. No. He slashes at you here, or here. Or maybe across the belly, spilling your intestines. Point is, you are alive when they start to eat you. So, try to show a little respect.
Okay.
Artificial intelligence is also set in a pulpy, theme park ride-friendly fantasy world, but the film is decidedly darker than the Jurassic Park series, or almost any Spielberg films for that matter. And as a result, the violence here is pointedly less rambunctious. During the Flesh Fair scene, David the Boy Robot watches as outmoded robots get torn apart, shot through hoops of fire, and dismantled in various different grisly ways. The Flesh Fair is supposed to be a carnival, a three-ring circus and so-called celebration of life that requires the death of inorganic robots to thrive. On some level, we may be aware that if the violence faced by these robots were inflicted on actual humans, we would probably turn away from it on screen. That subliminal awareness plays into the movie's central preoccupation. At what point should a biologically non-human person be considered, for all intents and purposes, human? If it feels synthesized feelings, are they not still feelings? Shouldn't simulated pain still be considered pain?
Is it a game?
The most upsetting scene in Artificial Intelligence might be the one in which David is abandoned by the side of the road by his distraught foster mother. The moment when he realizes what she's doing is heartbreaking. David's squeals of panic are so tortured that you're afraid that something bad is about to happen. Something that will hurt both him and his mother.
No. No, Mommy, please. No. Please, no.
They would
Mommy,
destroy
no.
you, David.
No,
David,
Mommy.
they were gonna
Mommy,
destroy
no. I'm sorry I broke myself. I'm so sorry I cut your hair off. And I'm sorry I hurt you. And
No,
Mark, and
I have to
and-
go. I
and-
have
no.
to go. Stop it!
Sorry.
I have to go.
Mommy, no.
David.
Mommy, if Pinocchio became a real boy and I become a real boy, can I come home?
That's just a story.
The story tells what happens.
Stories are not real.
Mommy is
Real. Now listen. Look. Take this, all right? Take this. Don't let anyone see how much it is, all right? Now look, don't go that way, all right? Look! Don't look at me! Look! Don't go that way, all right? Go anywhere but that way or they'll catch you. Don't ever let them catch you. Listen, stay away from flesh fairs, away from there are lots of people. Stay away from all people, only others like you, only Mecca are safe. Now gotta go.
Why do you want to leave me? Why do you want to leave me? I'm sorry I'm not real. If you let me, I'll be so real for you.
The juxtaposition of this scene with the flesh fair sequence is a good reminder of how great Spielberg is at juggling his role as both carnival barker and humanist. His movies are often dominated by trauma and violence. To appreciate his work, you just need to know when to sit back and revel in unreal, bloodthirsty spectacle, and when to avert your eyes.